Hey, what's going on everyone? So I purpled Gladio, a personal must-have. If you're interested in what the Chosen King's shield does, what he offers to a team, and what I think of him, stick around and find out. Gladio is a cover tank, meaning he specializes in handling single target Brave and HP damage for the team. He has his own healing aura and last stand, letting him be self-sufficient in that regard, as well as providing other offensive and defensive auras. He has many means of battering the party, and with his LD, he can nullify Brave and HP damage as well as counter. His skill 1 is Tempest, which first self-batteries based on attack before 4 group hits into split HP damage. This batteries the party based on the HP damage dealt, and your allies are given Royal Guard, which reduces Brave and HP damage taken and has Gladio cover them when they're targeted by a single target attack. Onto Gladio, it applies King's Shield, a stacking buff that also reduces Brave and HP damage taken, as well as a static increase to defense and a stacking increase to max bravery and attack. The stack levels increase whenever Gladio takes an attack. His skill 2 is Dawn Hammer, which also first self-batteries based on attack and then does 6 group hits into a single target HP attack. This move also batteries the party based on the HP damage dealt and applies a max bravery down debuff to all targets. For Gladio, it gives him Crown's Guard's Pride, which raises attack and max bravery. With it active, he gets enhanced basic attacks. His Brave Plus batteries the party based on attack, and the HP Plus self-batteries based on attack, does 1 hit, and then batteries the party based on the HP damage dealt. His EX is Maelstrom, which at base is a 6-hit HP attack done twice, and at the end batteries the party based on Gladio's attack. This grants him Warrior's Trial, his second stacking buff, which increases party attack, overflow, and provides HP regen, all of which improve as it gains stacks. He gains stacks similar to King's Shield by taking any attack. The EX Plus improves Gladio's offense, longevity, and his ramp up, so overall it's pretty good. Realization increases the potency of the attack and gives 20% splash damage. Not a lot, but it's something. 1 ingot is a stat boost, and despite being a tank, Gladio really enjoys his offensive stats. 2 ingots give starting Crown's Guard's Pride, 2 stacks of Warrior's Trial, and a free first turn skill, so basically free setup for his skill 1. 3 ingots does a fair bit. Firstly, it turns the EX cast into a 4-hit HP attack done 3 times instead of a 6-hit HP attack done twice, and it gives Brave Return after the first 2 HP hits, along with increasing the potency and overflow. It also further improves his basic attacks to 2+ versions, with both attacks gaining a second Brave hit and the HP 2+ gaining some overflow. His LD is Impulse, which first self-batteries based on attack and then does an 8-hit group attack with split HP damage. It batteries the party based on the HP damage dealt and grants Gladio Blink, which reduces all Brave and HP damage he takes to 0, gives him 100% debuff evasion, and gives him a counter. The counter does self-battery based on attack before a 3-hit HP attack with 50% splash damage and party Brave Return based on the HP damage. Onto the enemy he countered, he applies Knockdown, which reduces attack and defense. So despite me having literally every other tank and even off-tank in a build state, Gladio was a must-get for me. Single target cover doesn't solve every tanking problem, but it is alleviated thanks to the Brave and HP damage reduction in his cover buff. While his longest lasting defensive buffs are somewhat lacking compared to other tanks, his offensive capabilities make up for it in my opinion. He can party battery off every move in his kit, and his self battery and multiple hits in all his skills means his damage output is still going to be at least decent as enemy stats go up, fine considering he's a tank. And of course, there's his LD buff, which in like 95% of scenarios negates any damage Gladio takes, or covers, and hits the enemy with that sweet counter and gives the party that sweet battery. Similar to Bosch, there's just a lot that Gladio provides in one party slot, and his longevity and versatility is very high. As the toughest enemies get stronger and more units get new tools, an offensive tank helps keep the party hitting hard as well as keeping them safe. When this video is coming out, we know what will be coming for Gladio in the future, and it's only his C80 Awakening and an LD extension. The extension itself fulfills 2 wishes I had for it when I was still theory crafting. The first wish was giving Impulse a second HP hit after the first 3 hits, right in line with the animation, and the wide slash portion of the animation turns into 8 hits, totaling 11 hits in the LD. The second wish was refreshing Royal Guard on allies, which is in line with what Galoof got with his LD. He also gets a free, no turn rate first action, which combined with his first turn free skill means Gladio can be efficiently set up, but sadly, no improved duration on Blink. The LD board does include a Brave damage up node for counter though, so that's handy, and Blink also gets a Brave damage increase effect to improve Gladio's overall Brave shave. At the start of November, we had Warrior of Light get his LD and become a strong group tank. About 3 weeks ago, we had 8 come in as a pseudo single target lock tank, and now we have Gladio, a fair amount of tanking potential in just 1 month. But to keep things simple, we'll just compare the 3 true tanks with LDs right now: Warrior of Light, Bosch, and Gladio. When it comes to tanking, there are 2 main things we can look at to help decide their usability in a party: how they protect allies and how they deal with damage. Warrior of Light provides party barriers to protect against single and group target Brave damage, and with his LD, he negates HP damage based on the value of those barriers, as well as being able to lock single or multiple targets. Bosch always locks multiple targets, and does not directly protect the party against Brave damage, only providing Brave damage reduction for himself. But put him in a scenario where there's one hit group HP damage and keep his buffs up, and he essentially will never die. Gladio, as mentioned earlier, is a cover tank, so he works best against targets that have primarily single target attacks. With King Shield up, he will take reduced damage, with Royal Guard giving the party the same defense boosts. And with his LD buff up, damage against him will be reduced to 0 in most cases. As you can see, all of them function slightly differently from each other, and while technically interchangeable, if a fight focuses on any particular damage type more than another, it would be advantageous to use whichever one handles it best. Or, in the case of Gladio's Lufenia, has mechanics that high-key neuter the other tank options. So yeah, that's Purple Gladio. Looking at his numbers, he's not the hardest hitting tank, but he has very high slot efficiency. Brave and HP damage reduction, party HP regen, solid offensive auras, lots of battery options, and of course there's that short duration but very useful counter. He can easily serve as tank, party healer, party battery, and aura provider, freeing up your other slots for damage and offensive support. He's got a great amount of versatility and longevity ahead of him, and even as other tanks get their LDs, what Gladio provides as a whole package still put him in a very strong position. If you like this breakdown and discussion of Gladio and want to see others like it, or want to share your thoughts about him, stick around, hang out in the comments, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.